Alright, everyone. Welcome, Study Freaks. Welcome back, everyone, to the Study Prep Guys channel. As you see it on the thumbnail above, or if you look into the thumbnail, we'll be working 2024 paper ones, the 2024 paper one, May June for office administration. So, anyways, guys, it is nice to be back with. It is so nice to be back with everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing all right out there. Anyways, guys, I will post a Zoom link. I'm setting up the Zoom right now. I will post a link in the details so that you guys could be able to join. I will post a Zoom link in the chat. Yes, let me get up the Zoom link so you guys could actually join for open forum question. This is an open forum live stream. Usually a lot of YouTubers don't do this, but I'm doing it today. Give me a second, guys. I'm getting up the Zoom class or the Zoom forum so you guys could actually participate. So, anyways, if you look into the Zoom chat, anyone who is willing to join, there is a link right there so that you guys could ask any question you want. That's the Zoom link in the chat below. CSEC is tomorrow for office administration. If you guys have any questions, the Zoom link is right there. You could just go into it, press into it. If you have your Zoom app on you, you could just press into it, and you will be able to ask me directly right now on stream any questions as relates to CSEC office administration. Anyways, everything's said and done. Let me go on now. So at the same time, if you're joining, you will be able to see what is going on the screen. You will be able to see the paper itself. So anyways, with everything said and done, let's start this paper. Anyways, let's start. So let's read the instructions. The test consists of 6 items. You'll have 1 hour and 50 minutes to answer them. In addition to this test booklet, you should have an answer sheet. Each item in this test has 4 suggested answers, A, B, C, or D. Read each item you are about to answer and decide what choice is best. And all of these information is incorrect or just irrelevant. They're not incorrect, they're just irrelevant. So we'll move on from that. All right, so let's start off with question one. So employees in a large organization are most likely to be or most likely to have very no, because it's a very large organization. Think about it. If you think about it very strategically, they will because it's a lot of individuals in the organization. So A is out, limited career prospects. No, they're already in a career, so that is out immediately. Direct contact with management. No, in a large organization, there's usually a vertical organizational structure. So a vertical organization structure meaning it is extremely hard to get to people of authority or seniority. So those two are out, A, B, and D. So that only leaves us with the only answer that we could think of applicable, which is C, a high degree of specialization. So the only answer that leaves us with is C. So hopefully everyone is doing good out there. So two. As I said before, if you want to join for any open questions, I am open. It's the only night I will be open for a Zoom class. It's probably later in the future I will think of it, but tonight is the only night. So if you have any question, you could actually use the link below and ask questions. So we're moving on to two. Hopefully everyone is all right there. The science of outfitting the workplace to meet the needs of employee is known as the science of outfitting the workplace, and they use very weird words, but this one here is ergonomics. And if you want to know what ergonomics is making you feel comfortable in the environment rather than you having to adapt to the environment. So they will create an environment where you feel comfortable rather than you having to conform or adapt to the environment. So that's what ergonomics is. Then we are at three now. Which of the following is the most appropriate medium for communication between offices? Um, we have beeper. That is just something that like is alarm. Pocket pager. Public address system. No, it's telephone extension. Telephone extension. So where are we now? We're at four. So where are we now? At four. Um, it says here a clerk in a small organization feels that some improvements would be made to the filing system. What is the most appropriate action for him to take? So we have A. So we have A, discuss his ideas with the general manager, make the changes he feel are necessary. So that's for C, discuss his ideas with the supervisor, and then we have finally D, continue with his continue with the old filing system until he is asked for an opinion. So the thing that he should do, what is the most appropriate action for him to take? He should discuss his ideas with the supervisor. So a clerk in a small organization feels that some improvements should be made. So he should make suggestion with his supervisor because over every department is a supervisor. So in this case, the best answer would be discuss his ideas with the supervisor. So where are we now? Five. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a registered mail? So after proof of postage, I did look at this in one of my other videos, and that's the off when you offer proof of registration, we call that a registration mail, which is basically proof of registration. Registration mail is proof of that you sent that you sent that you sent a mail. And there's something called a force class or a force class mail. But I did discuss it on my last video, so I will look at that later. So as I said before, the Zoom class is open, guys. You could join right now if you want. So we're six now. So a caller to a business asks to speak to a manager only. What type of call should the operator make? Person, a caller to a business asks to speak to the manager only. What type of call should the operator take? This should be a conference call, right? Conference. So in this case, it cannot be host, it cannot be host, it cannot be personal call because it's a manager at the end of the day. It's a business setting, so it cannot be a personal call, and it cannot be a person to person call either. And a person to person call meaning that you're literally video chatting, you're seeing the person while you're talking to them. So those are immediately out. So it says here, a customer called and inquired about a letter which has been sent to the firm months ago. However, the letter could not be found. To determine if the letter was received, the mail clerk should refer to the postage book, right? So the register mail is basically proof that you send this letter, right? The postage book is basically a list of all the letters that were sent for a particular time. The corresponding digest, that's unrelated. The mailing list, it might sound like that at a first glance, but a mailing list is like a list of mails that are to be sent to different persons. So the postage book is a list of all the documents or a list of all the mails that were already sent. The mailing list is a list of documents that should be sent and what time they should be sent, right? It's not sent already, it's about to be sent. So the postage book is what was sent already, but it was recorded. So that's what a postage book is. So we're at 8 now. So how is everyone doing tonight? How's everyone doing tonight? Where are you tonight, people? Look alive, people. Look alive. Look alive. I didn't do a live stream like this in a little while. Let's continue. It says here for it, which of the following pieces of equipment is used to arrange the pages of a document in order? We call that a collator. A collator is basically like a machine that sorts documents. A duplicator is used to print exact documents or print a replica of a document. The juggler, the franking machine, that the franking machine is used to scan documents. And the juggler, that's just totally unrelated. So we can't put a juggler. So where are we now? So everyone tuning in to the live right now, you could actually live. The information is in the chat. You could join right now and ask your questions. And ask any question. I'm very open tonight. So let's look at question 9. So it says here, telephone message from to R. Smith from J. Ben. Organization Ben and Sons Ltd. Phone 18. I don't need to read that. You could see that message. A new shipment of office chairs will arrive at 11 a.m. on Friday. Call M. Santos for information. Date 11 April 2022. Time 1400 hours. W. Danielle. So this one here is usually a bit of a tricky one, but it's not really that tricky. The person who received the phone call and record the message is actually W. Daniel. It's basic as that. And how could we know that? It says to R. Smith, right? And who received the call? Right? Who received it? Right? Who received the call? The person who received the call is actually W. Daniel. Because he's the person who actually arranged information and he's telling you that he's basically trying to say that. So what W. Daniel is actually giving you information and actually saying that this and this what happened. So he's the person who got the information. He's the person that received the call. Right? So there's something to note. So that's it for 9. So we're at 10 now. People, you could tell me in the chat. So where are we now? 10. We're at 10. So type of 10, which of the following is an option section? Which of the following is an optional section in a resume? Or is an optional section? List of academical rewards. Because you don't really have to put that in. A resume is usually show your certificates and stuff like that, what you achieve in your academical pursuits, both primary, secondary, and tertiary educational levels. However, it's not a necessary proclamation that you need to put in what you achieve. You're a valedictorian. You got the first. You are the best debater in your class. You did or in school. You don't have to put that. That's unnecessary information. That would just be flexing. That would just be flexing. All right, where are you? 11. 11 now. 11. 3 months have passed since you applied for a job at a large firm. You have only received a letter of acknowledgement. The only thing you need to do is just write up a follow-up letter. I don't even need to think. I never need to think hard on that. You need to write up a follow-up letter. That's all you need to do. Follow-up letter. Baby, what's up? How are you? Thanks for leaving a comment. So the only thing you need to do is write a letter to follow up on the application, or you write a follow-up letter in the case that you send a letter of and you didn't receive any acknowledgement, or if you only receive a letter of acknowledgement that they receive your letter, you need to write a follow-up letter. That's the best action to do in this case. So we're at 12 now. So we're at 12 now. So it says here, Paul is applying for a job at a local bank. Which of the following statements describe his curriculum vitae? I extend the list of his dossier and interests, a brief account of his life history. No. Wait, I'm checking back. An outline of the curriculum covered at the secondary level, a comprehensive report on his vital scores obtained during a course of study. And this one might sound a bit weird, and I know a lot of you will come at me in the chat or come at me at the end of this video and tell me that it would most likely be a comprehensive report on his education or something related to that. But something that you don't know about the term dossier, the term dossier also means what what he achieved in his academical pursuits. So it would in the curriculum vitae, it usually includes two things. Number one, the amount of scores or your experience in doing a job. That's the first thing in the curriculum vitae. The other thing in the curriculum vitae is your academical achievements or your dossier. And a lot of people don't know what the term dossier means. Dossier means what you achieved in your academical career, in your academical life. So it's an extended list of his dossier and interests. So that's it for 12. Let me know. 13. This one here is very simplistic. This one here this was a repeat question. It's a repeated question. A lot of times it's a repeated question. So this one is very easy. It's I, and I. If you could look at the list, if you could look at the list correctly, this is a repeat question. I can't tell you the exact years, but this is a repeat question from 2020. I definitely knew that I see this question in 2020. So, but they inject the dynamics. In the 2020 paper, Erin Wolf was actually an I, and it was B, it was I, and I. But it was minute. It was very minute. It was a very minute change. If you look at the information in 13, it was actually Erin Wolf at 2, Arthur Wolf at 1, and the actual answer in 2020 was B. They used the exact same person's name, but they really did twitch it a bit. It might not seem as much, but it was a minute twitch, and that changed the entire answer in May June for 2024. So yes, we have at a reason. The accounts department has requested a file action should the file clerk take. What actions do you guys think they should take? So basically, the accounting department requested a file from the central filing department. So what are the what should the file clerk take? So first of all, they should find out if the file is available, because you have to search, you have to check for the file, because you can't really give a file that you don't have and ask the person receiving the file to send. Nope, you don't need to do that. So you need to complete an outsheet with, let me look at this correctly. First, receive the file to sign it. Yes. So we have two options here. I and II. III or tree is out immediately, because you cannot complete an outsheet and place it in the file. That doesn't make any sense. So B. Yes, saying good. Does everyone agree on that? If you guys have any comments or any thoughts, or you see anything that I placed incorrectly, at least in your opinion, if you see anything that I did incorrectly, at least in your opinion, or you just want to see it, or you just see something that you don't agree with, you want to talk about it in the comments after this video, just place the numbered name, or place the question. Like for example, if I got 10 wrong, or just put 10A, I believe it's 10A because of this and this reason. I will present evidence to back my claim up, and hopefully we could have a very proactive discussion. Don't just say you got a lot wrong, or don't say nothing blunt like that, because it wouldn't be cynical. At least it would be insantical in my opinion. So yes, we're at 15 now. So which of the following would be most suitable for storing inactive copies of files? It's actually the external hard drive. Because remember, soft copies are not physical documents, they're not physical documentation, right? And storage box, accordion folder, and suspension folder cannot store soft copy documents. As you could see on the screen right now, this is a soft copy, it's not a hard copy, right? In the case that I needed to store, I needed to store a hard copy or a physical copy of a document, I would have used the suspension folder, the accordion folder, or even storage box. But this is not the case now. The external hard drive could this out of all these one here, suspension folder, accordion folder, storage box, they can store hard drive documents. So hopefully you guys could understand that, and hopefully that answers any question that you may have on this question. Because a lot of you guys might probably think of storage box, but might probably think between A and D. But a storage box is just a box where they store disseminated documents or this or documents in general. And that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard. Hard copy documents. So, in which of the following situation is cross-referencing not needed? A document is to be placed under a special lane for easy retrieval. Yeah, because you do cross-referencing in the case of like names. You do cross-referencing when there's usually a change or some alteration to a person's name. In the case of the person did not change your name, so that would not be needed. So we're going at a good pace. We're at 20 minutes. We're using at least 2 minutes to 3 minutes per question. That's what I usually do in the streams. An advantage of centralized filing is that all records are stored in and management and managed in one place. So 18 now, we are 18. So I'm looking at the comments right now. Looking at the comments. Here be a big shout out to you. Big shout out to everyone who's watching the stream right now. I did plan to do the stream a bit longer depending on the audience size. I will go into an hour and I will see how long the audience is, and then I will probably push it to another hour, depending on how the live stream actually goes. So as I said before, the link to actually join the stream is in the chat below. And you could join right now. You could talk to me and stuff like that. Don't be afraid, people. Office administration is tomorrow. I think. Wait, let me just check back the schedule for office administration. I think it's morning. It's morning and afternoon, people. Um, Give me a second. I'm just checking the time for the office administration so I could just see something. I'm just checking something for the timetable. I'll come back to answering the question. Just give me a second. We're at tomorrow's the 26th, the 26th, 26th. So the 26th, we have office administration in the afternoon. The afternoon. Anyways, you are receptionist and your employer has asked you to catch with an important client. What is the most suitable action to take? So what they have, because you are receptionist and your employer have asked you to cancel his appointment. What with an important client, right? What is the most suitable action to take? Right, apologize and inform him or that the appointment has been canceled. That's the most basic thing you can actually do because you cannot cancel the old appointment. What old appointment? It's a current employment because basically try to say you in the midst of actually going and do this appointment. The employer just said don't do it. It's not an old appointment. It's currently right. It's a new appointment. Arrange a new appointment. Arrange a new appointment and inform the client of the change. No, you don't need to do that. Write a letter to the client advising him of the cancellation. Contact the client. Apologize. Yes, that's the best answer. That's the best answer in this case. You apologize and you tell them basically that because of this and this reason, we cannot make it happen. So we apologize for that. That's an inconvenience on our part. That's the best thing to do in this case. So we are ready. 19, 18. We're moving on to 19 now. Which of the following services would usually be offered to customers who have fixed deposit account at a commercial bank? Yes. The only answer that I could see here is higher interest rates than those offered on savings account. A fixed deposit account. If you have any questions or not, you could ask. I'll give you guys a minute or something. So, a fixed deposit account is usually if you want to put in, I just give a figure. If you put in $1 million into a fixed deposit account, And you tell them that you want to hold up this money for, let me see, a year. You can't access that money until the year is end, or at least within a year's period, and you usually have to pay a fee depending on how long the extension of the fixed deposit account actually is. So if you have a fixed deposit account, you would usually have to pay higher interest rates in comparison to like probably a savings account, because a savings account don't extend to 2 years to 3 years to 4 years. A fixed deposit account does. So depending on the amount or how long the fixed deposit account is to be, you will have to pay higher interest rates depending on the longevity of the fixed deposit account. So with that out, we were at 20 now. We're going at a good pace. We're at 20. An executive has to attend an overseas meeting and will have to make referee reference to corresponding on file. The most appropriate procedure, which should be used by the secretary to allow the executive to have the relevant information, is to give him what? What you guys thinking? The correspondence from the file and ask him to sign for it. So we're at 21 now. A visitor to an office wishes to see a senior executive. He asks to be introduced as AG. The receptionist should respond by explain that she is required by the company to record the names of visitors. So we're at 22. In a meeting, which of the following person would be allowed a casting vote? The treasurer. Anyways, guys, I'm moving a bit fast now. On 30th April, the firm received a voucher for $16.5 for the purchase of car headlights, in which analysis column of the petty cash book would this entry be made? The miscellaneous. Yes, guys. What sum of money is required to restore the Impress as at 1st of April? Anyways, we're at 25 now. Which of the following records would show an employee's duties, grade, and salary? So the employee's contract and the job specifications. The company's manual, that is just totally unrelated. The only answer that leaves us with is 25. Within a meeting context, a proposal that action be taken is known as a motion. The same question at 26 is a repeat question. I think it's from 2021. I can't pinpoint exactly, but 26 is a repeat question. A member of staff could not remember what decision was taken on a particular subject at the last meeting. Which of the following records should she refer to for the information? That's the minutes of meeting. The minutes of meeting regards what happened in the last meeting and what did occur. So she should refer to the minutes of meeting. So we're 28. What is the purpose of maintaining a reception register in an organization? Identify the firms which conduct business within your organization. So where are we now? 29, 29. Which of the following terms is used to describe a committee which has been set up to deal with a specific number? Which of the following terms is used to describe a committee who has been set up to deal with a specific matter? Can it be central? Can it be a central committee? Because a central committee deals with multiple matters. A general committee deals with matters outside of the business or outside the business setting. Administrative, that just totally so the ad hoc. So we are torching. So in which order should the following items be on an agenda be arranged? The correct answer for this would be C. First, we start off with the apologies, and then we start off with the II minutes of the last meeting, IV matters arising, and any other business. One. Unimportant for some quality of an efficient receptionist is wait, let me check about this one. So they said unimportant personal quality. Oh, they said quality. They did not set characteristic. Because if they did set characteristic, it would have probably been something in relation to their personal identity, like they're kind, they have good memory. They said personal quality. The ability to type is a personal quality. Third two. This one is 14:15 of time. That would be 13 hours. And minutes, the 13 hours plus the 1 hour 50 minutes, that will make up the 14 hours and 50 minutes. So we're toward 3 now. Your employer wishes to hold a meeting in the staff room on 18th of June at 8 a.m. The following documents should be prepared prior to the meeting. Notice on agenda. Yes. A visa is a permit entry into specific territory for an agreed period, usually 6 months. Or 5. Your phone is least likely to be found in a personal on personal records, employee's handbook. You can't find that. So the human resource clerk has been asked to review a list of job applicants and to select those who meet the necessary requirements. We call that shortlisting. So we're 37. Credit cards are used instead of cash when traveling abroad because they offer greater security than cash. That. This is a repeat question also. There is a growing feeling among staff that concerns regarding the general welfare of are being overlooked by the management. Request a meeting with the human resource manager because they deal with stuff like that. The schedule above show that aircraft. This is a repeat question. It's actually 3 hours and 5 minutes. So move on from that. If I'm moving too fast, people, you could just tell me in the comments below if I'm moving too fast by any chance. Because I want to finish the stream by time 40 to 50 minutes. I don't want to go over that time. Some firms offer programming to employees becoming familiar with their jobs. This program is an induction. Part 1. I believe I did this paper before sometime. I can't remember exactly. Which of the following procedures should be used for the distribution of I, and I? That's very easy. You could check back with that later. For 2, that would be 276. So that we think we need to do is calculate the work for if he pays 8% of his gross wages payee. So 10, that would be 300 minus the 8%. So 300, if you could just think of this thing on full screen so you guys can see what's going on here. So if you guys can see what's going on here. So you take a look at the calculator. So if they're paid $300 per week, we need to calculate the 8% of the payee and subtract it from the regular payments per week or the nominal payments per week. So the 300 times the 8, and then we would divide that by the 100, and that would give us 24 minus the 300, and that would give us 276, you could see there. That's very easy maths. Nothing hard. So we're for the two, for the three now. Career Kirin Categories Limited has received its first bank statement for the year. Notices two columns of figures which indicate money is deposited and withdrawn. Credited, which is A. 44, 44, 44. Requests from raw materials at a company are usually very tardy. To which manager should a clerk direct a complaint about the lateness of these requests? Once again, it's the human resource department because human resource deal with the things that occur in the business with human resource and workers. They're mainly to deal with that. But for that would be the 5%. Hmm. Force Mr. Brun to whom the check is made out is called, that is the PE. Yes. On 2nd of October 2021, Mr. Hall attempted to cash a check above at his bank, Savings Bank Ltd. The request was denied because of what reason? It was a cross check. So the document which gives a description of items offered for sale is a quotation. The total minimum level on the stock card is the lowest balance of stock allowed. So we're at the 50-50. What is a 20% overhead charge? That would be the $222. Alright, this was a repeat question again. These two questions here are repeat again. So I'll not do a lot of explanation on this. I will make a compilation videos so you could see the full working and how I got the answers for these here. Which of the following documents issued by the petty cashier as a record of purchase issue of cash to member staff? That's a voucher. Assume there are no further transaction. What bit would be the opening balance on the account on 4th of February? That would be the $115. The term record level is used for goods requisitions when the stock level reaches its lowest point. When we reordered level, we mean is extremely low. Means we're down to our last 5 questions. So everyone is doing all right out there. So let me see. Which of the following types of discount is given for prompt settlement of an account within a given period? Bulk. We call that bulk settlements. What is the best method of processing inventory data? That's on question 56. We call that our electronic. Electronic is the fastest and most effective way. Mechanical, there's no mechanical inventory data. That doesn't make sense. It's actually electronic also. Mechanical is immediate out. Physical, that is the same as manual, so doesn't really make sense. So the only answer is electronic. So what you need to do is find out the difference between these two numbers or these two digits. So 7 from 4. Let's see. So there's a difference of 3 hours. 3 hours. You just need to find out the difference of the numbers or the amount of time that they worked. So if you put in a total there, if you put in a total, you will get 46 hours in total. Tell me what that. When I was working at people before, I got 46 hours. So we're on to our last remaining 3 questions. What is the benefit of having insurance coverage compensates for the business force in the case of loss? Manifest is a document which shows B, a summary of cargo a vessel is carrying. Um, P Hook as a manufacturing business is raw cost 1900. I did this one already. This is just 13 units per cost. So document. People, I am very tired now. That's everything. So if you guys have anything different, I will be going live one more time for the night, the 2022, and that would sum up my videos and administration for a while. I did complete since 20 to 2025 January, straight through all I did all of the years. I will be going live again in the next hour or probably two. I will do a post on it, and you guys could. Yes, guys, thank you for watching. Um, Thank you guys for watching. All the best. I wish you all the best on the CSEC Office Administration tomorrow. It's supposed to be afternoon, so hopefully you guys could do some review, some studying up. As I said before, just studying up again, just to refresh your memories. Thank you guys for staying in tune. Hopefully, I wish you guys all the best for tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys pass. The study prep guys wishes you all the best. Yes, guys. Adios.